Yeah, I can't hear you, mate.
Me neither. You're in sync, mate, but Alex is not.
Bruce said keeper's shape, didn't arrive on time, and then none of the equipment worked either.
We're off to a flyer this afternoon.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Yeah, Mike, I turned right when I came into the back after you decided to buy a pint at 3 minutes to kick off yesterday. And then I see you after that. He was like, "We'll be fine. We've got plenty of time." I was like, "I haven't gone yet, mate. Can we get moving?" Nah, I'll be fine. I'll have another one. Thanks very much, barman. Barkeep. Mike was strutting around yesterday. We're all in his manner, so he was enjoying it until he went.
He was in his element, was he?
Oh, he took me to his local GPs. We walked past that Robin Hood Lane surgery, or whatever it was.
Brilliant.
How are you guys? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Evening, everybody. Yeah. Evening, Stephen. Evening, Ben. Evening, Grimbo. Sam's not speaking. How was Berlin, Sam?
Yeah, because I've been on hiatus, haven't I? De facto, Berlin a couple of weeks ago was great.
Did you go see Union?
I didn't. I'm afraid they were away that week. We looked at it, but they were away, so it didn't work. It didn't quite work up.
Did you go to the Olympic Stadium? What did you do? Know. This is the thing, because Berlin. I like Berlin.
What did we do? We did all the sort of touristy attractions, checkpoint.
Did you go up the little? Did you go up the spiky needle?
We did. Went into the Reichstag.
Oh, you got money.
Went to the Reichstag. We went to Brandenburg Gate. Went to Checkpoint Charlie. We took in a few light pilsners and came home on Sunday evening.
I thought you said you did a few light pills then.
No, but that was 2 weeks ago. I mean, I've basically been retired from going to football in recent weeks. My form attendance has been shocking.
When did you get back from Germany?
Oh, 2 weeks since I've been back from Germany.
Why are we asking you now?
Because I've not been on the pod since.
We did talk to you though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't touch anything. Apparently, everything is really sensitive.
Like myself.
Be like me yesterday. Yeah. No, it was good then, was it? I didn't hear any of that, Sam, but I'm glad you went. It's my one of my favourite cities.
No, I was at a friend's birthday last week, and I was at a family gathering yesterday. Hence my kind of shoddy performance, shoddy attendance rates of late.
Well, I know we're gonna have to get used to it.
Shocking.
Good evening, everybody. Great to see you. Andrew wants to know if you went to Berlin to watch Mariners TV. No, but I did do that, Andrew, and it does work fine. Evening all. Who's in charge tonight and who's running the line? Nobody. We have no idea. Evening, Daniel. Evening, Ben. Evening, everyone. If you want to say hello, feel free to throw it in there. We want to get your opinions because it has been a busy week and we need to make sure that we...
You've just touched something, Alex. You've touched it and it stopped working.
Oh.
It's going well, isn't it?
I can probably work out what he'd be saying. He'd be saying, "Evening all, welcome to the DN35 pod."
Phil.
Filibuster. Well, I'll filibuster the podcast. Oh, we need Chris Bryant for that.
If there's a man that's needed for this job, it is you, mate. To just talk inanely for a period of time without coming to a point, making a point, or having a passing thought about anything to do with a point. It's you.
Passing thoughts, I'm pretty good at those. It's just the passing thoughts often come into contradiction with each other. That's the issue.
Can't be using contradiction.
No. Welcome, Alex. Having some technical difficulties. I guess what he should be saying now is evening, everybody. We've had 2 games to digest this week. Things are looking up. 5 points out of 3 games. The Artel cartel is back on the railway line. All is well.
Sam, he said, "Phil, not take over." He said, "Phil, don't take over."
I've does that work now? I brought out the big guns.
Oh, thank Christ, we've got you back now.
He wasn't going through a manifesto, was he?
He failed the audition.
I was trying to replicate what Alex might be saying. That's what I was trying to do.
If only we did auditions.
I'd have been sacked.
It's right. We can cut all this out, can't we? We'll just.
No, it's completely. Yeah, I do loads of editing afterwards. Yeah, it takes me ages. It's not. It says a lot that within about 5 minutes of us off air, it's already up. and that's mostly the downloading and then uploading back onto the site. Should we try that again? Good evening, everybody. Bruce is here. He told us to keep us shape, and that would include arriving on time and, making sure all the equipment works. So we'll leave him in the green room for a moment as I watch him wipe his nose. As
penance.
Do you remember that time we did the Brighton episode and we all stayed on in the bottom watching it, and Bruce didn't know me and you could both see him on the entire.
That was amazing. Bruce,
when you bollocks did itching, they did itching.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't have to stick your finger in your mouth afterwards, though. But
that wasn't my mouth.
What time are you on the road tomorrow, Bruce? You look like you're a trucker. You look like you're going to be hitting the road tomorrow.
Is it just because he's wearing a baseball cap, Sam?
What are you doing wearing a hat? What's going on?
No, it's the whole vibe.
I've been down south this week, and I wanted to fit in.
You weren't yesterday.
No, we've been robbed twice down south this week. £7 a pint. £7.
I wonder how long it would take him to mention that. 30 seconds.
That's not bad.
£7.
Yeah.
You were all right. I didn't see you more than 2 foot away from anti-lunch for a reason.
Oh, you completely outed me there to absolutely everybody.
Sam doesn't buy a pint shocker.
It's my round, but you go to the bar and get them in. And I'm just off to the loo anti-lunch.
I'm not saying a word. I didn't get a drink in yesterday. Everybody else was being very hospitable. I felt very bad.
That's not remotely true. I bought them around. You saw me do it. There was in the penultimate pub. There was a.
Oh yeah, that's right. Your mate's in anti-lunch. You've gone to the toilet and you shouted, "Does anyone want a drink?" Oh no, just me. Right then.
As you went into the corner shop just to get everyone a bottle of Pepsi Max and a Tango.
No, it was lovely to see everybody. I spent a fortune in one day. So the lads that arrived on the 6:30 train yesterday morning at 9:30 in London, God knows what they spent. Added on to Tuesday night. It's been an expensive week for the travelling mariners, as you rightly point out. I only did one of them, but it was an expensive but enjoyable day on Tuesday.
Well, first and foremost, happy Mother's Day to all of you wonderful town fans out there who have a sprog. I don't know how. Can I put it nicer than that? I don't think so. But happy Mother's Day.
At least all the mums will know that they've got a sprog.
Oh, he's off again. Oh my God.
Was that just tumbleweed, or is he broken?
He's going to be like this all night, isn't he?
He's been off 3 or 4 times already, Bruce.
All right. Okay.
He sounds much better, doesn't he?
Right. Okay. Right. So anyway,
it's an improvement.
So he's got rid of Sam. He can still press buttons, but he can't talk.
So he's bored. So he's just playing now, isn't he?
I will say, talking about Sam buying around, I've seen Sam buy a pint twice. Once within Oxford, and the other time was at the Oval, where I had to go to the other side of the stadium to drag him out of his seat to buy me a drink.
I don't really understand where this narrative has come from. I always buy my round. This is a smear campaign against.
I'm sure he must have bought a round when we had the pod night at the cricket club and then the barge.
I bought a round at the bar. I remember asking everybody to remember the thing.
No, I'm sure you did. Right, Alex. In all seriousness, is Alex? Are you here, Alex? Can you talk, or are we going to? Do we carry on like you can't talk? Right, he's not working, is he? Right, Mike. What have I missed? Have you talked anything about football? Have we done the credits yet?
We haven't done anything, mate. We haven't done anything.
Right, Alex, press the button, run the credits, and then we'll start talking. See how smooth this is.
Open wide for some soccer!
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1130. Go! At 1130.
I don't think I've ever wanted to be on a stand more than my life running there. They're going crazy. Yeah, they got a penalty here. They've been fish flying about that. There's no tomorrow.
What a magnificent piece of football! A really, really good goal. You can't make it straight for that.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the always professional, always on it DN35 podcast. Thank you very much for watching us stumble through that very beginning, and hopefully now we'll all get it together and take this home swimmingly, much like the team. Mike, please don't shake your head because I assume it doesn't work.
No, I was shaking my head about taking it home swimmingly.
No, I'm just saying it's going to be a soliloquy to our season this year. It's going to be a bit of a mess, a bit of a shambles, and then we're going to pull it all together at the end, and it'll be no problem, and everyone will go home going, actually, I quite enjoyed that. I'm joined by Mike and Bruce. Sam has left, which is not a problem, and we are talking about 2 nights down in the smoke, 2 draws around the county of Surrey as Town draw against Wimbledon and Sutton. Bruce said for us to keep our shape, as I keep saying. So we'll start with Wimbledon, which was played on Tuesday. And gentlemen, take it away, because all I did was watch it on telly. Somebody.
It was the most. I was most impressed with the performance, to be honest. Better in the first half. Should have been in front. I thought we played well. I think it was what went on after that Doncaster game when they had that hour in the, whether they watched old Arsenal videos for an hour and now all of a sudden we've got Tony Adams and Martin Keown and Dixon and the mob at the back. But we just look a different team. Whether they're comfortable doing what they're doing, I don't know. But I expect us to go anywhere now and look at solid bare minimum. And at Wimbledon, we created some chances. Wilson at the bar. Yeah, I just thought it was good. Played in front of a good Town following. 450 on a Tuesday night is equal. It must be equal to 650 on a or 670, whatever it was yesterday on a Saturday. No, I thought it was an all-round enjoyable day. Saw some people, had some beer, paid too much for it, but I won't mention that anymore.
Okay, then how much is it in? How much is it in Willie's? How much is a pint of Peroni in Willie's?
I don't know about Willie's, but it's probably a smidgen over a 5.25 maybe.
5.25. Anybody else got a rise on 5? What's the price of a pint in Clee? Because Grimsby's a little bit cheaper.
Anyone else got a rise on Willie's?
Yeah, anyone got a rise on Willie's? Anybody else is a hard no at Willie's?
I have got an idea though. I think when you live and work north of Nottingham, you should have a northern card, and like when we come down south, it should entitle you to a discount. Sam, can you mention that?
Ben's saying it's $4.50 for a Madry and the Honest Lawyer.
Yeah. So what you're essentially arguing for is economic segregation, that the Southerners have to subsidise Northerners.
I mean, I'll be entirely honest. We've been subsidising Southerners for a while, haven't we?
No, but people that live down south get paid down south wages, and we live up north and we get paid up north wages. So when we come across the border, we should.
What about where is this border? Where is the border? And what about
Nottingham? The orbital.
And what about the national wage?
Birmingham. You can keep Birmingham. We'll have Nottingham in the north and further north.
What about national wage? So if you're a teacher and you're earning exactly the same amount as you are in Surrey,
yes,
the people in Grimsby should get a card, but the people who live without London waiting, which is what you get if you live in sort of a particular area, you get a little bit more because apparently the rent is more. They shouldn't get it, but the person from Grimsby
I want complete northern bias in this.
Fine, okay.
I don't want any logic. I just want northern bias.
I mean, we've already had a budget this week that doesn't have any sort of logic, so we might as well throw more stuff into it.
Anyway, enough of that shit. Sorry, I've digressed. That was my idea, a northern card.
We didn't ask you to come down, Bruce. You're welcome to stay at home.
I know, but it's the only way I get to see you.
Passing in the night, you barely say 2 words to me when you see me. You.
I'll tell you something.
You didn't even come to the pub. You was with your bloody London mates.
Yeah, well, he was sick to death of you standing near him, Bruce. Every time
I'll tell you what, Alex. It's that bad. It's that bad. He wouldn't pay the day rate to get into town to have a pint with us in the middle of London because he was too tight.
He had to wait till 6.
What time? We arrived at 11:30. Mike's messaging at 12:15. Are you in Sutton yet? No.
He probably,
No,
he probably heard about the abuse you were giving me, Bruce, and just thought, you know what, I'm all right with that.
If I'd have known
I
that Sam
didn't
was getting
abuse-
abused, I'd have told Liam we're not having a birthday meal. I'm heading
I
over.
didn't abuse you, did I?
You showed me up to anti-lunch.
Anyway,
she's
should we
sing-
talk,
and until lunch, she's
should we
single,
talk
Alex.
about Wimbledon?
No, enough.
Was that it? I thought Donovan Wilson played really well, and he that move where he had 3 around him and he got it off and hit the bar was pretty impressive. Wimbledon, it felt very much like both teams had played their main event on the Saturday, so it felt a little bit, leggy, a little bit tired, I guess. But I thought all in all, it was a better performance than we put in against Forest Green, even though the result was better against Emlot. So, I was pleasantly surprised about Wimbledon, and good crowd. Bruce, your first time at Plough Lane, what are your thoughts?
You don't actually see it till you're inside. That was my first thought. It's like it's like
I
really
don't think
weird,
we
isn't
can
it?
talk.
You see Blundell Park from the railway line and from wherever you want, really. It's quite a strange setup, isn't it? It's surrounded by all those apartment blocks. But no, it was a nice little ground. I'm not sure how much room for expansion there is should they need it, but
I think they can go
setup
around that one main stand. I think they've got room to go all the way around if they want to.
Okay, but yeah, it was a nice place. Yeah, it was a good place. The stewards were friendly, but I mean they've got a reputation, haven't they? I think they're a fan-owned club, aren't they? They've got a reputation for prioritising the right things. Everybody was most friendly, and there were a few some town fans that said hello, which was nice. Which was surprising that anyone wanted to talk to me after however many pints I'd had. But yeah, no, it was an all-round pleasant evening, and we took it nice and relaxed, and we came home on the 12:30 train on Wednesday. But there was a big incident on the East Coast Main Line, and we were stranded at Grantham, and we had to get picked up from there, but not till we'd been there for 4 hours.
Trains going up north. Who'd have thought it?
We have to change now at Grantham because it's.
Did you not have to change at Oak Common?
It's cheaper when you get above Grantham. Sorry.
That don't matter. It's a HS2 joke.
I'll tell you what I did see though. Fine. I'm sorry. We keep
the Elizabeth line.
I did see the Elizabeth line. Yes.
Was that what it was?
Okay, now.
What was it like? Did you like it, Bruce? Air conditioned?
We got on at where did we get off? The end of
I have no idea where
on Oxford Street. On
Bond
Oxford
Street.
No, on Oxford. It might have been
Tottenham
near
Court Road.
Hang on, stop interrupting. Near that place off the telly, Selfridges.
Oh, Bond Street. Okay.
Yeah, we got off at Bond Street, and we'd already walked. I went to Hyde Park and saw. I went to Hyde Park and saw all the posh totty trotting the horses round. All the kept women. Saw that.
You mean the Coldstream Guards?
No, there was people socialising on horses in the middle of London.
Was there?
I don't know where they
that must
keep
have been
them.
one of Sam's mates.
I don't know where they keep them because it's I don't know whether they ferry them in by train so they can ride them round or what.
It gets around the ULEZ, mate.
These stories get longer and longer, Bruce.
I was a northerner enjoying a day in London.
You were, because we kept getting random pictures in the WhatsApp group.
You get
Hear
Johnny
me at
Bullock.
Trafalgar Square.
You get Johnny Bullock on. He stayed down there from Tuesday to Saturday. He'd have some stories for you. I'm not sure how many you could repeat on here, but.
Si Hodson says Bruce's travel diaries. I think we need to start a section on it, really, Simon, because I saw someone on the Fishy say they do fucking half waffle a lot, which is fair.
The irony of that is, Alex, is that Bruce the one who tells us off for waffling at the end of the show, and yet he's the one who's most guilty of waffling.
Keep us shape, Sam. Keep us shape. If I could get my phone up, I'd show you it, but it said keep us shape.
Well, we did Wimbledon first.
Yeah, that's kind of.
You've done 5 seconds on Wimbledon.
It was really good. Donovan Wilson played well, although I thought he looked a little bit sluggish in the first half. Yeah. All right, I'm going to shut up anyway because I've talked too much.
What I would say is the last couple of games, including Saturday, but Accrington, Forest Green, and Wimbledon is. We said a lot, didn't we, after Doncaster about misgivings about the setup and Artel and what have you. And I would say that it's great to see
watching this.
It's great to see that that he's man enough or big enough to not have so much of an ego that he won't change his method and won't change how he's doing things. So over the last couple of games, and I think it was typified away at Wimbledon on Tuesday, we've really sort of taken the hint and adjusted what we're doing. I look at a team now that's gone from conceding goals all over the place and maybe having a high XG, but still conceding 3, 4, 5, to a team that's going to concede 0, 1, possibly 2 a game. So now I'm looking at it, and off the back of the last few performances, I'm thinking I'm less worried about this team than I was, because they're showing that they can keep a clean sheet.
What was the goal we conceded against Morecambe? Because it eludes me in my head. What was it like?
It was a counter attack, wasn't it? We had a corner and they came up their right hand side and
was it a pretty neat finish, wasn't it?
No, I think Malarkey put it in his own net, didn't he?
Ah, right, fine. So you're saying that no one has scored for no opposition player has scored against us, in play, shall we say,
in a legitimate manner.
No, and do you know what? I'm starting to be a bit regretful. I think I might have gone a bit early on Artel, which I usually get accused of the opposite. But as a bare minimum, a couple of weeks ago, I thought, well, if they're not going to change him, they need to change what they're doing. And you heard little bits from Stockwood in an interview with Radio Humberside about how there'd been conversations and a realization of what we need to do to stay up. And it's good to see that they've taken that on board and, are really sort of progressing with that. So the last couple of games have been really good.
Talking about
that's very big of you, Mike. That's very big of you, because I've got a sound bites of Sam saying that his mind will not be changed on Artel. He's made his mind. Sorry, Sam, please.
It's a voice
He's made his mind up. He's made his mind up. His mind is not for changing on Artel, and he needs to be gone.
Look, I'm quite happy to say when I'm wrong, because I'm usually wrong quite a lot of the time.
That's very big, mate, and I think we all appreciate that, and that's a good thing.
Sorry, can I come back at that, please?
No. Yeah, no, go, Sam. You've got a right to reply. Go on.
Yeah, so number one, I said.
You've got to do that. You fucking
I cut him off. But Sam, you're not the only one. I was damning of him, and 80% of people, when they lost at Doncaster, said they wanted him out. And I
am only joking with the whole thing.
I'm not. I think it's all Sam's fault. That was just a lot of huffing.
Go on, Sam. Go on.
I'll stop.
On the high points about kind of changing, when the facts change, you reserve a right to change your mind. My basis for kind of calling for his removal was that I thought he was incapable or unwilling to change his ways, and he subsequently demonstrated that judgment was inaccurate. And we have changed the way we've played and we're far more effective for it. So fair play to him for kind of pulling it out of the bag when we need to. Whether there's a kind of long-term thing with this, or whether the kind of his way of playing football is kind of going to be long-term successful for us, I think the jury remains out on that one. But you can't deny the last 4 performances. We've conceded 1 own goal and 1 extremely dubious penalty, which I'm sure we'll get to. Have been a marked improvement on what went before. So, but I said quite the opposite in the pub on Tuesday night, Bruce. I said, you put it to me that I'd made my mind up. You basically said, oh, you never want Ersty out. So you never wanted Ersty out. So you'd made your mind up before he made his way through the door. And in fairness to Auntie Lunch, she stuck up for me and said, no, he'd love to be wrong. Which
I know you would, mate. Listen, I'm only joking.
Everybody would love to be wrong, wouldn't they?
I am very grateful, though, that we no longer have capital punishment and you're not in charge of the noose. That's all I will say.
I mean, there's someone in his work that wouldn't mind a bit of capital punishment back. Anyway,
he had the whip removed.
Which one? All of them. Where was the whip? So in terms of that game and stuff, what do you think the changes are that made the 3 at the back? Do you think that's what has made the significant change, or were there other things as well that Mike, you're pretty good at this? What other things has he put in place that have changed the way we play? Everyone, I think, and me included, go 3 at the back. Cartwright, as someone mentioned, is an entirely new player. Simon Hodson did. He commands his area. Great again yesterday. Great, great on Tuesday as well. So what things has he put in place that has changed it? Because we were just getting carved apart.
Well, I think in the Forest Green game, and less so in the other games, we are, when we're defending, playing with quite a low block. But I think he's putting round pegs in round holes. You know, Malarkey is not playing as a right back now. He's playing as a right-sided centre back, which is his position. And I think the five at the back's got something to do with it. We're more comfortable out of possession of the ball. But I also think we're being a lot more pragmatic in what we're trying to do with the ball. So there's no messing around with it at the back, trying to play through the thirds as much. If the opportunity is there to do it, we will do. But we are looking at trying to get the ball down the sides, out of the danger area, because if you lose it in the middle of the park like we were doing, then you get counted on quite a lot. And that was our problem, was being counted against and conceding on the break. So I think they're trying to look after the football a bit better and out of more dangerous areas. But obviously the five at the back has just shored us up, because the strength in the middle of the park is a lot better now, because we've just got numbers in there.
I think I think there's several reasons that. I mean, I don't look at it quite at the tactics quite as much as Mike does, but I think we've brought in. You look at the three players that played yesterday that are new to the squad. I would say they're all playing better than the players that they've replaced currently.
Yeah,
I think. Sorry, go on.
I was just really quickly say one thing I forgot to say. I think Doug Tharm is a massive part of that improvement, which you were saying, Bruce. Yeah,
and I think that a bit of confidence as well. You know, we were just no matter what we did, what we tried, it just wasn't working, was it? And we had one or two games where we sort of ground it out, and suddenly we look like a team that's fairly hard to score against. Touch wood. But yeah, I didn't mention it before, but you refreshed my memory. But I thought Cartwright on particularly on Tuesday was superb. The amount of times that he would come in a crowded area and catch it, and we haven't seen that from him particularly. But whether it was that bright blue kit on Tuesday night, I don't know. But he just seemed to be everywhere. Especially down the far end, you just see he looked like I know he can use his arms, but he just looked head and shoulders above the players that he was challenging. He looks like he's grown a foot and a half in confidence.
Yeah, he was just plucking everything out of the air, especially in sort of 18 minutes onwards, where he was under a bit of pressure. I turned to who I stood next to and I just said, every time that ball goes in the box, either Doug Tharm's heading it or Harvey Cartwright's catching it. And that makes a massive difference, because you can relieve the pressure then. Too much this season, we've been under pressure, and the release valve to that is we concede. Now, if your goalkeeper's coming off his line and catching stuff, then everybody around them's a lot calmer. And our defence has looked, for most of the season, like cat on hot tin roof. But over the last couple of games playing this way, with the confidence they've got and the new additions and the new style, they look a lot more confident. I reckon that's a massive part of it.
Ryan North says, I honestly believe the Blazers told him they prefer the way to play, playing to their strengths with five at the back and three in the middle is getting men behind the ball and giving us cover when Hume gets forward. Top two up the front is also keeping the opposition defence occupied. So there's quite a few. Thompson back into it as well, who, impressed against Morecambe. Oh, no, sorry, not Morecambe, Accrington Stanley. It's a nice place, and we'll get on to yesterday's performance. We were the better team for 70 minutes. Didn't really feel like we were troubled, and I thought we gave a Wimbledon team who have got an eye on the playoffs a really good go for their money and could have come away with the win. I just think it's going to get tough now, so hopefully that resolve, and I hope they don't feel like they got a kick in the guts yesterday, and we'll go into the game against Franchise on Tuesday. I hope it's a quick way to get over it, isn't it? And we go from there. Anything else anybody wants to add on Wimbledon?
Other than the fact that after Wimbledon, I really did have the opinion that I was wrong on Artel.
Well, we saw that when you started buddying up to him. Oh, hello, Mr. David. Can I have your autograph, please, Mr. David? Oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry.
Turncoat.
He's that's now
turn. I said to him when I saw him, I said, I'm terribly sorry. I thought you weren't up to it a couple of games ago. And I was wrong, but, when you're wrong, it is important to say you're wrong as publicly as you said the opposite. We're all wrong. And sometimes you just got to hold your hands up and say, the fella's changed how he's playing. He's taking it on board. That's all we wanted, really.
I'd quite like to stay up. Right.
Equally, though, I don't think you can blame anybody for reacting in the way after Doncaster the way people did.
And Walsall.
And Walsall. And the Tranmere game wasn't very good either. But so it's not revisionist, but it's kind of, as I say, facts changed. You can change your mind, can't you? There's no shame in it.
But I think the problem is as well is why town fans and football fans in general look like they're so fickle is because they want the team to work and they want who is in charge to work and they want the team to do well. So the second you can grab onto it, and let's face it, we're talking about a 1-0 win against Forest Green and a couple of draws, and we're all back on the bandwagon. And it's, because people want to see the team succeed.
Yeah, the next run of fixtures is a little bit trickier on paper, isn't it? I mean, it's a test to see if this is kind of beneficial set of circumstances against relatively weak opposition, or whether it is actually kind of a proper turning point and we are going to be, generally speaking, more competitive. I mean, if we get whopped at home on Tuesday night, I don't think we will, but if we do, then we're back to square one in terms of the narrative, aren't we? That's just a sort of building what you said, Alex, about fickle football fans.
Well, I don't know if that's the same because, our sort of opinion changed after getting absolutely, dominated by teams we shouldn't have been dominated against and conceding 3, 4, 5, 6 at home. If we're losing games 1-0, 2-1 and we're in them, that's an entirely different matter. The problem with that run of games after New Year is the teams we were playing were out of sight, and that's just never acceptable.
Lovely stuff. Well, there we go. Shall we move on to yes? Does everyone feel suitably calm to talk about yesterday, or do you want to give it a couple of moments? No, fine. Well, then let's do it. Grimsby Town drew with bottom of the league, rock bottom, 92nd out of 92 teams in the Football League. Sutton United at one of the worst grounds I've ever been to. They played on the fitties, so you thought we'd have had the advantage, and we did. 70 minutes, I would say, Town were the better team. Sutton didn't really bother us. We hit the bar, had a couple of shots saved. And then Sutton got a justified penalty and equalised from the spot with 10 minutes to go. That's my thoughts on it. Obviously, what does everybody else think? It'd be great to get your thoughts on chat as well.
So I saw most of the game yesterday. I was out at the start of it, but I caught most of it. First half was a bit of non-event. I thought we played quite. It was a pretty poor game of football that we definitely shaded. I mean, Bikru scored, but he could have scored 2 more. Definitely going in at half time, you felt we were the better side. And then we came after half time and really kind of, I thought, tried to put our foot to their throat, honestly. And if you get another goal, I think it could have been a cricket score. Honestly, they were rubbish. And if we finish below them, anyone who finishes below them is going to be bottom of the Football League. Bikru's had another great chance to make it 2, but I'm not going to criticise him too much. Thought he was very good. They didn't put us under any pressure, did they?
Did he? When did he have a chance to make it 2? Am I missing something, Mike?
There was a ball so Malarkey played his twinkle toes on the edge of the box, put him through, and he's got a sort of, not a one-on-one, but he's fired it at the keeper. It's a decent save by the keeper.
Was that not before the goal?
No, it's in the second half.
This is a very good example of why when you're at games, especially away grounds like Sutton, I don't really have a clue about what
this is the wrong way round. This is the wrong way round. I'm the one I've watched it on the iFollow when you're at the game. This has never happened before. This hasn't. And then shall I talk about the penalty, or do you want to kind of talk about the game and then we'll talk about the penalty afterwards, Alex?
I think we'll talk about the penalty afterwards because I wouldn't mind having a crack at it. Again, if we play like we did for the 70-75 minutes yesterday, again, we're going to have no problem getting enough points to stay up. I thought Doug Farm was excellent again. I thought Bikru looked decent. I was surprised Curtis Thompson lasted as long as he did. He's looking like he's getting fitter with every game. I really like Harry Clifton playing at wing back actually, because it doesn't expose his weaknesses, i.e. his quality on the ball, and it does allow you to exploit his biggest strength, which is his ability to get up and down the pitch. It's generally speaking a much, as he sort of built. I thought he played better yesterday than he did on Tuesday night actually, and especially given the pitch and how difficult it was going to be to play football on that. Well, let's call it a surface. They deserve to go down for that, basically, don't they? Oh, Bradford's is worse. But I thought Green played really well. I thought he came through the middle quite a bit. I thought Malarkey was half decent, and a Bikru as well. I'm so glad he got that goal after missing a pretty you'd call it an easy chance when it just, moments before he got his goal, because God knows what that had done to his confidence. But what did happen was, as he came off, and it, one of the few things I've seen for a long time where the player goes off the nearest part of the pitch. I haven't seen that done that often. And he was coming around the side, and they were singing the that Tequila song to him. It was it must have felt good for him because he's a young lad, and I don't think he's probably heard his name being chanted from the stands before. So, what has been a pretty decent performance from him will hopefully manifest itself into something even better. But I didn't think we've seen both Forest Green and Sutton in recent days, and I know Forest Green beat Walsall yesterday, who've won 85 games on the trot, but neither of those teams would suggest they've got anything in them to stay up. That's will be my thought process after seeing them both play.
We look best than both of them, didn't we?
Yeah, and
albeit marginally.
And I think the difference between what we've had. Let's talk about the previous relegation campaigns. I think players like Rose, are a different quality to what we've had when we've had those. We've had to go into this before, and we've had to front up against it. We were relying on people like Lee Peacock and stuff. Ben Hill saying Walsall had an XG of 4, so that would I've never heard of a team having that higher percentage of XG. So
yeah, they missed a penalty as well, in the second half to make it 1-1.
That sounds like it was a bit of an absolute look, but hopefully Forest Green did get a shot on target against us, and and Sutton had to rely on that. Joss comes in and says, I think Donovan Wilson should partner Rose up front. Abiku, not a finished product. Yeah, you're probably right, Joss. Abiku might be that guy comes on at 60 minutes when everyone's getting a bit leggy, but I think they're both half decent. Bruce, what were your thoughts? You've been quite
think I was just sitting. Well, I've done a lot of talking at the start, but I think you might see those two rotated alongside Rose. People were saying why is Wilson not start? Was it Wilson that didn't start yesterday? Wasn't it? Why is Wilson not started? He played quite well at Wimbledon. At the minute, we're playing Saturday, Tuesday, and Wilson's just come back from quite a while out. Abiku, as you say, is a young lad. I just think that, I wouldn't be surprised to see it the other way around now. Wilson came on yesterday for a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he didn't start up front with Rose on Tuesday night. And then much of a muchness, the sort of Abiku seems to have forced himself in ahead of. He played at Morecambe, didn't he? And then he was away on international duty. Now, I don't know how long he'd been back before we played Wimbledon, so he could be the favourite out of the two for Artel, but he wasn't ready to start after travelling back from wherever he was in the Caribbean.
Anybody else want? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say on that point, I think if you look at the logic of it, I think Abiku's got a little bit more about him sort of physically, and he gives the centre-half a bit of a tougher time than Donovan Wilson do physically. I think if you have that for 60, 70 minutes, Donovan Wilson's the sort of player out of our strikers you want coming on when there's maybe the centre-halves are lacking a little bit of pace because they've had a game, and he can exploit that, and he's a little bit more clinical. So it makes sense to give Abiku the nod to start with, and then Donovan coming on and trying to, exploit the game that the centre halves have had. So it makes sense to me.
And don't forget Raquel Pike. For the little bits I've seen of Raquel, I think he looks like a decent player with something to offer. He was on the bench again yesterday. It would seem that he's now 4th in the pecking order, but he played that first game at Milton Keynes and looked good there, didn't he? So I think our striking options are not particularly an issue at this moment in time. They may well be. I think Donovan Wilson's a bit of a pest, actually, Mike. He gives the defenders a lot to worry about with his pace and his kind of tenacity. He mixes it with defenders really well, I think.
Well, that's what Ben Hill just says here. I think Wilson is much more happy to run in behind and do the dirty work despite his height. Abiku is very much a striker who likes it into his feet. Sorry, Mike.
That's the point I was going to make, Sam, is that you want to strike with a bit of pace, get in behind and exploit gaps 70 minutes into a football match. It's going to have more effect than minute 2, minute 3 when the centre halves have not been in a game for a while. So bringing him on at the end of the game gives him that opportunity to exploit those gaps. Just going back to what you were saying, though, Alex, about previous relegation seasons. Whenever we've gone down, the teams we've had have not been able to defend. The last 4 or 5 games shows we can defend, and the teams we've had have not been able to score goals. And this team all season has shown it can score goals. So if you've got a team that can defend okay and score goals okay, generally you've got to think we're 5 points better than Forest Green in the next 11 games. I would be shocked. But I think it'll be Colchester that go. I don't think Forest Green.
I can imagine us slipping into. I haven't changed my opinion that I think I can see us dropping into the relegation zone just because of a quirk of the fixtures. But I very much see us staying up after these sort of performances, and hopefully it continues. Right, we got 20 minutes before the hour mark, so I think we might be able to get through the penalty yesterday. So for those of you who haven't watched it, you lucky bastards, Town conceded a penalty with sort of 10 minutes to go. It was one of the most immature, childish and unprofessional performances from an assistant referee I have seen since Declan Bourne at Salford, who was trying to impress the 92. Now, I'm very scathing of referees. I've refereed myself, but I understand the complexities and the instant decision you need to make. What happened yesterday, I believe, was beyond that. And it wasn't just about making poor decisions. It was actually allowing their emotions and their own thought process to get into the game. And we've had it before. I've mentioned Declan Bourne. We had Boyson against Donny Bruce, bringing you back to that one. We had, Joyce not wanting to spoil the game in the final. I think that was yesterday. My take was it was a very childish assistant referee who wanted to make sure that he was being thought of. So about 25 minutes, half an hour in, there was a click of heels and a clash in the corner right in front of him. He flagged for it. The referee waved it away and turned it down. And from all reports I'm hearing is when that linesman went to join with the other officials at half time, the referee extended his hand to shake it and he just shook his head at him and didn't shake his hand. And then that referee, again, unprofessional, weak, cowardly, I would say, kowtowed to him when he made a decision again, because that linesman wanted to make a decision that was important in the game. It wasn't a penalty. The only thing I saw was Tharm get choke slammed into the ground. And then I believe Danny Rose probably tripped over Tharm's body trying to get to it in the first place. I can understand people's anger, and I hope the club put an actual complaint in, because that was beyond the pale. I don't know if anybody else saw it differently, but that was my take on it.
It was right slap bang in front of me. I was right in line with it, and I had no idea what the linesman was flagging for. Now, you've mentioned about that click of heels. There was 3 or 4 other occasions where the linesman gave something and the referee didn't, including the referee at the end of the game was starting to give offsides without the linesman putting.
Oh, there was that one where he gave offside, and that linesman had no idea where it was and just put his flag, out into a general direction of where it was. It was incredible.
Now there was a bit, it's a terrible decision. We all know that. And as I said on Twitter, feel sorry for the linesman. He's obviously going through a terrible divorce and never loved as a child. But there's a bit of pub chat yesterday from people that were in the corner, in the seated corner, saying that when the referee went over, the referee was saying, in his view, the hands were down the side. It's hit Danny Rose on the hand. Of course it has. But his hands are within the silhouette of his body, and he's affected by that suplex on Tharm. Now, for me, it doesn't matter what the linesman wants to do, whether he wants to, feel valued and make the headlines and be Billy Big Bollocks. If the referee has seen what he said he's seen, then don't get overruled. They had a long chat about it in the corner, and the referee's gesticulating with his hands by his side. You're the referee. If you don't agree, then that's what you pay to do. Don't give it. He's looking straight at the foul on Tharm, and he's looking straight at everything else. For him to go over and take the linesman's opinion from 50 yards away, it's just an absolute disgrace. And, no idea what that linesman's seen. Absolutely no idea. And the problem is that if we go down by 2 points, there'll be absolutely no recompense for that linesman. He can't have seen a handball, so he's made it up. But that could affect our season. But you're never allowed to criticise, footballers and managers are never allowed to really criticise. There's never any answers. You never get oh, sorry, we were wrong. This is what we gave. It's just there's no punishment for them.
John Tonda did ask the assistant referee what he gave it for, and he completely blanked him. It just shows the level of arrogance. Yeah,
fucking prick.
I'll tell you something. So Steve Brown, who was the linesman, is a county clerk at Canterbury Crown Court. I'll tell you something. If I was a lawyer, if he had any of his fingers on any evidence that I had, I'd be getting that trial replayed and playing that as it, because he's quite clearly got no proper judgment. And if I'm Canterbury County Court, I'd be handing in his notice, because that's disgusting. Does that help?
No.
It was bizarre in that it was almost like BTEC VAR, wasn't it? That, oh, the ref's not giving it, so we'll go over to the monitor, in this case, the linesman, and we'll kind of, at fear of being wrong, or he'd seen something he hadn't seen, and completely lost the courage of convictions and gave in to the linesman. It was bizarre, because almost all the time, as a Grimsby Town fan, I know when I've had a shocker go against me, like whether it be the Scott Nielsen red card at Gateshead, or the Anthony Church penalty for the foul at Fleetwood, or the ball that wasn't over the line at Altrincham when John Brooks gave a goal when it was clearly not over the line. At least I know what was going on. Yesterday, it took a zoomed-in image when I've been watching it on the telly, and about 4 or 5 different goes to work out what the bloody hell it had been given for. It just kind of it goes beyond you win some, you lose some, doesn't it? I mean, as Alex pointed out, that's not a case of. So I've always thought the officials are honest but shit, is my general perception. That wasn't honest but shit. That was shit and egotistical, which is just unforgivable. And I don't really see. Will he get a game next week? I mean, the PGM will often take people off for a week, don't they, and give them back? I mean, how on earth?
He might be sent down to Scunny's level at least. That's the only thing we can hope for.
I don't think we mind bad decisions and things, but this is not a bad decision. You know, this objectively, you feel cheated. You feel like a bloke is pissed off and has decided, I'm going to make this all about me and I'm going to flag. The referees started to try and talk him out of it, and then the referees bottled it and just gone with him. No, so this isn't Scott Nielsen didn't actually touch him, but you can understand. This is objectively somebody making a positive choice to say something happened that nobody around anywhere thought happened. Nobody appealed.
Which I've never known before.
John Gurlis must have been near you, Mike, and he said it at the time, but not one Sutton player or fan called for it, and they're desperate for everything they're getting. So you know, it shows where it is. But the only thing I would say is, as Town, we've got to understand that the referees at this level are completely and utterly incompetent, and to allow us to only be 1-0 up with 20 minutes to go, and we were dropping deeper and deeper and deeper. You've got to take your chances. Ultimately, it comes down to us being able to take our chances, and we've got to negate these moronic decisions from officials that want to make a name for themselves by, putting ourselves ahead.
I don't think incompetence covers seeing something that didn't happen. I don't think that's incompetence.
But what I'm saying, Mike, is that it was a level of incompetence because he got it wrong. But I know we can't, work out his motives. I agree with you. I think it was something deeper than that. But we're going to have more calls like this between now and the next 10 games. We've got to negate that and get rid of it. And we need to be clear ahead and gone. And the problem is we kept, going deeper and deeper. And I understand that, but we got to get a couple away.
We should have had that game won already. But I'll be honest, I've watched football for a lot of years and I've been at games for a lot of years. And I don't think I've ever lost it as much as I did yesterday with that decision. Like I absolutely lost it. I've seen bad decisions, but that really got to me, that decision.
Bruce, you got anything to say? You've been very quiet, a man, keeping it together, I guess, compared to the rest of us.
It's a bit shit for a podcast, but I think you've said what needs saying. I'm not going to feel any better talking about it. It's shit, but it's happened. Me talking about it, ranting and raving for 10 or 15 minutes, it's not going to make me feel any better about it. I'd rather use it as a motivator for Tuesday, and I hope that they do. I hope it creates a bit more of a siege mentality. But yeah, I think you guys have got the anger.
And we wrapped it up in 8 minutes.
I'm not gonna add anything to that because, like I say, I don't feel there is a lot to add, and I'm not going to get anything out of it. It's not going to make me feel any better. It's not going to change the result. Getting him dropped for next week, it's not going to change anything for us. It doesn't affect the mistake and the fuck up. And yeah, that's my take on it.
I've got another refereeing thing.
Oh, hang on, here we go.
Just two things. It happened on Tuesday and it happened again Saturday. When you head the ball and an opposition player headers your head, how is that not a free kick, a foul, or a penalty, depending where it is? Because I've seen that twice now. And David Artell said, they said it was just he headed his head. How is that not a foul? If you kick his leg, that's a foul.
We saw it though. You see it in the Premier League, where so the first day of the season, I go back to when Anana, the Man United keeper, completely clatters, misses the ball. The Wolves lad heads it. The back clatters into him. No penalty given. So, and that's in the Premier League when they've got a purported check and balance. At this level, the idea that we're going to kind of indulge in sort of apt refereeing is a bit fanciful. So I kind of agree with Alex really that we've got to kind of do as much as we can to negate ineptitude, because we're just going to kind of come across with it time and time again.
There we go. Anything. So we've now got, franchise to come on Tuesday night, and then we've got Gillingham away. So another one for us Southern Mariners to get our teeth into.
I'm missing it again.
Part-timer.
I am. Shocking.
So, we've got quite a few to get our teeth into, I guess, is probably the best thing to say. Bruce, you going to be coming down to Gillingham again, enjoying the portable stand of doom?
I'm not, mate. At the start of the season, or early in the season, we picked a shit-looking away game for our Monday Night Football Christmas day out in Lincoln. So I'm in Lincoln on Saturday, but there's a few town fans with me, so I'm sure we shall somehow manage to keep abreast of what's going on.
Christmas night out in March.
Yes, cheaper.
Are you going to Barrow on Good Friday, Bruce?
I'm not sure yet, mate. I might do.
Are you going to the Wetherspoons?
It's doctor's advice.
Mike, when is it? Mike, when is it your Northern Tour starts? Are you up for Tuesday?
No, I'm up on the 28th of March, mate. So I've got Bradford and Newport at home.
Oh, okay. I thought it was straight after Sutton for some reason.
I'm up at the Friday for Barrow, but that's a bit far to go.
Jen, so I wanted to ask you as well. The next 4 games seem to be some of the toughest we've got between now and the end of the season. Gillingham, MK Dons at home, Gillingham away, Wrexham at home, and Barrow away are our next 4 games. How many points do you see us getting out of those 4 games?
12.
I think we'll get 5. I think we'll get 5. I'm going 5. I'm going up optimistic.
So what's that? A win and 2 draws then? That's
I think we'll win Tuesday night.
I think we'll lose at Gillingham. I was going to say a point on Tuesday night, lose at Gillingham. I think we'll beat Wrexham.
Oh,
I don't know whether that's
getting clipped by them lot.
No, bring it on. You can clip it as much as you like. And then I
love it when we beat them.
And then I think we'll get a point at Barrow on Good
They've
Friday.
Got to go there.
There's nothing to do with nothing to do with the fact I'm going to the Wrexham and Barrow games, and therefore I want to see us get points. It's not part of my thinking at all.
There we go. I think we're going to get 2, but I don't think that's a problem. I think we'll get another 10, 12 points before the end of the season. That'll be enough.
If we're playing like we have been playing, these teams aren't going to be scoring many goals, and we can nick one easily. So I think 4 or 5 points is quite easily achievable from those games. So if you keep a clean sheet, you've got a point already. If we
set that up on Tuesday, if we set that up on Tuesday with a win, we'll all feel like if we can win on Tuesday night, beat MK Dons, you'd have taken 4 points from those 2 games. I mean, I did say in the pub on Tuesday night that if we'd have lost at Wimbledon, that I felt we needed to win on Saturday. But after getting a point at Wimbledon, a point at Sutton, all right, it was sickening in the way it happened, but 2 points from those 2 games, they didn't gain anything on us. I would have liked 3 from the second one, obviously, but I think and like that, with this tough run coming up, if we can get some points on the board early doors, if we can get more points on Tuesday than you think we're going to get from the next 4 games, then we're going in the right direction.
Think of it this way: Sutton, Forest Green, and Sutton have had us in the last week. They've got no closer to us, and having both had us in the week, they probably need to get closer to us to probably think they'd be thinking they'd need to get those points to overhaul us. They're both further behind us than they started the week. So from that perspective, if you were Sutton or Forest Green after this last week, you'd be saying we're done. I think if you just kind of put yourself in their shoes.
Is there a full program Tuesday, or is it catch up for us?
No, it's a full program.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think it's a bit subjective because if we get 3 points from the next 4 games, but Forest Green and Colchester don't get any, it doesn't really matter. But if they go and get 12 points, then it's an issue. So if Forest Green and Colchester get 2 points from the next 4 games, 3 or 4 is a good result because we've widened the gap. So it just depends what other teams do.
Gillingham and Barrow have only got 2 more points than we've got in the last 6 games, and obviously we lost 2 points yesterday because of some incompetence. So we're kind of in similar form. The only one, MK Dons, only Walsall have a better. Walsall and Bradford are more in form, and we've got them to come.
And I know they won away yesterday, but Wrexham's away form's shocking. Like,
Look how close they got with Forest Green.
Yes, they're brilliant at home. They barely drop a point at home, but away they're ordinary at best. So that's why I kind of gave us half a chance in that game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the only thing I say is Barrow have only played 2 games in the last 15 days. We've played 4, so they're going to be a little bit fresh-legged when we.
All right, Steve Cockrell.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, apologies. But I'm also trying to look. Only Colchester have travelled further than us, but that doesn't include a trip down to Colchester and having a game cancelled in the last 15 days. You know, we've travelled 700 miles in the last. You know, it's a hell of a long journey, not including the Colchester game.
Here's a question, lads: is that game at 8 in what is it? The penultimate week of the season. Is that game at Colchester going to be a kind of shit or bust?
It sends them down.
Or do you think it's a kind of we're safe and we can kind of go there and sort of
it sends the Cowleys down.
Do what Tranmere did to us all those years ago.
It sends Cowleys down. I don't know about you guys, but that's what I'm looking for.
That would be funny.
I would hope that we're safe by then.
Yeah,
I'm not going to make any predictions, but I would hope that we're safe by then.
I wouldn't want to go to Crawley wanting something out of it because we've got an absolutely terrible record at Crawley.
We won there on the first day of the season in the conference. Have we got a point since?
No, I don't think so. I can't remember getting a point.
We drew last season, didn't we? We should have won. They scored a dodgy late penalty, funnily enough.
Oh yeah, they did, didn't they? Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. There we go. I think we're done, aren't we? A little under an hour, unless anything's got any chat shit to do. Sean Pearson is running the marathon, and we've retweeted his charity, so please do go to them. The Grimsby Town women's team unfortunately lost narrowly this afternoon as well. Please do keep an eye out for them and get down to their games when they can do. Their next game, I believe, is at home, and I will send out some details when we do. Anything else we need to talk about before we go? I don't think we do we?
Get yourself to the park Tuesday. They won't bring many.
Get yourself
let's do the franchise.
I'd love to, Bruce, but it's a Tuesday night, and even I draw the line at those from London.
So, does anybody want Sam's ticket? Basically, drop us a DM.
Going for my ticket. If you'd offer me a job forward dated for October, that'd be great.
Ben, I might have missed this. What cup final are they in? Is it the Lincolnshire one? Does anyone? Bruce looks like
no. It's the Alliance Cup. It's the Alliance Cup final. I think that's the league that they play in. If someone will correct me, but they won on penalties, I think, and they're through to the final of the Alliance Cup. I believe isn't it the Puma Youth Alliance, or it used to be the Puma Youth Alliance?
I think it was.
I don't know who sponsors it now.
FA Youth Alliance Cup, Ben is saying.
Oh,
but yeah, when we get some details on that, it'd be good to get it down at BP or something, if it can take it. That'd be nice.
Maybe at Wembley.
Oh, maybe at Wembley. Maybe at the Wembley of the North, as I keep hearing. Wherever that is, Warrington.
As long as the taxpayers aren't paying anything towards this Old Trafford that they want.
Yeah, exactly. Agreed.
Don't worry, Bruce. It's all under control. I've got it sorted.
And Brian is saying this weekend it's Forest Green v Sutton.
I think that's
Forest Green will win that.
Do you reckon? I think they're both terrible. I think they'll both lose.
They'll find a way.
Oh, come on, an ineligible player for both teams. That's what I'm hanging my hat on. Gents, it's been a pleasure. Oh, hang on. Joss has just put something that's interesting. Last round is Crawley. We're playing them. They're 11th. Crewe, Forest Green are playing, who are 5th. Notts County 15th. And Sutton will be playing MK Dons, who are 4th.
God, Notts County have gone shite, haven't they?
Colchester playing Crewe. Yeah. Sorry,
Remember, we did that thing. Forest Green have got Notts County, Wrexham, Stockport, Crewe, haven't they? They've got all of them to play in the last couple of games.
Yeah, it's going to be. We'll be fine.
We can hope that Crawley, Swindon, and whoever are safely nestled in mid-table with nothing to play for.
Bruce, have you got anything left to sell?
Not the minute, mate. No, we've given
I
away
thought I
some.
saw-
Oh, Claire's giving away a doll's house.
I thought
to-
I saw
to a
some.
good home.
I thought I saw some town stuff up on your Facebook.
Oh, that's been there for years, mate. That's just
Oh.
all my excess stuff that I was trying to, the duplicate programs and stuff. But I was trying to get rid of it in a wanna, but I never got any sensible offers. And to be fair, programs aren't worth a lot these days. But I was just hoping to get a little something towards it that I could use to invest in. I need a new hard drive for a start. I've got 750 gig of town stuff now, 11,000 files.
Town stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have it in two places, Bruce? Tell me you don't.
Have you seen videos of Rachel Town? Sorry.
I'm not.
Yes. I have actually improved my backup solution. I've got a NAS box on the floor, which I back it up to occasionally, network storage box. But I've also started backing it up to an external drive, which I keep outside of the premises now because I didn't want to choose between. Didn't want to choose between the cats, the kids, or the cats, Maisie, Claire, or my external hard drive to blow out the window first in the event of a fire, because that would be awkward.
And it would be awkward explaining why you've chosen the hard drive, wouldn't it?
Yeah, there's me laid outside with a broken leg, but cradling a network box, and the girls are having to be rescued by the fire brigade from upstairs.
Yeah,
but then you'll have 1,000 town fans going, "Good choice, Bruce. Good choice."
Where's Maisie? Oh, she didn't quite make it. She was busy. She was busy digging out hard drive 14 of 17.
30,000 programs fell on her.
I sent her in the loft to get my old shirts out.
Oh, there we go. You think of all the calendars we'd lose as well. And that's the chat shit bit done. Thank you all so much for your time. I hope you've all calmed down since yesterday. Travesty. The only thing I'll say is if you have had a court date at Canterbury Crown Court, do check to see who the county clerk, the court clerk was, because if it was a Steve Brown, you can probably get it chucked out now due to complete incompetence. With that, we shall see you on Tuesday as we take on the franchise. And thank you very much. The town will stay up and we'll all be absolutely happy. See you next week.
Open wide for some soccer!
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1130. Go! At 1130.
I don't think I've ever wanted to be in a stand more than my life around there. They're going crazy. Hey, they got penalty here. There'll be fish flying about there. There's no tomorrow.
What a magnificent piece of football! A really, really good goal. You can't make it straight like that.
I don't really want to play the Get Lost game when there's 430 people online. But
we can't do that then, can we?
we'll be here forever.
has a bot farm found us or something?
I think so. It's got to be a bot farm, hasn't it? It's just, people wanted to write in and complain, I'd imagine. Yeah, thanks, guys. That was great. Mike, how long were you out for last night?
A while.
A while.
Bruce, he got a fresh period of time.
He got a fresh pint in at 2:57 around the back of the stand.
Good work.
No, nothing happens in the first couple of minutes. What's wrong with you? Although I did go at half time, 5 minutes before half time, and I heard we got a corner, so I left Dan in the queue. I said, "Oh, nothing happened. I'll just go back and check though." So I got back just to see the goal. Which I nearly missed.
Hold on a second. Did Danny Rose score after about a minute at Morecambe? So to say nothing happened in the first couple of minutes is foolhardy. I suppose more fool you miss it.
I wasn't at Morecambe, so I wasn't having a pint under the stand, was I?
But the idea that nothing happens in the first few minutes is...
Yeah, we're usually 2-0 down.
Sam, it was a joke. I know the concept might be difficult as a joke.
Oh, bless. Right, I think we've
I'm going.
See you later, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.